Hello, lacrosse friends. Welcome back to Inside the World of Box Lacrosse for week 9 of the NLL season coming up. I'm Stephen Stamp with Adam Levy and Greg Beecher of Blue Squatch Productions. And there was a lot going on in the NLL with 8 games, including the Monday game. So much happening. We're going to take a look at some highlights from the weekend, a few things that kind of stood out that. Okay, so watch Chad Tutton. He's number 44, and he is coming back down here right now. I love the work on effort on this shift, and there he is getting out on the Halifax forward, and just watch what happens as he'll fight in here and gets position. He doesn't go for the loose ball. He sees where it is. It's back. He just backs up. I love it. That allows Riley Hutchcraft to grab the ball and basically nullifies a chance for a reset for Halifax. By getting the ball first, or if he picks that ball, fights to pick that ball up, maybe he gets it. There's all kinds of pressure on him. Hutchcraft has a relatively easy clear. I just love this little play, and you look back to it in a 1-goal game. Adam, you're either very thoughtful or you're frozen.
I'm thinking Adam froze.
Yeah.
So he should be back on in a minute.
Died.
Oh, there he came back on now.
You heard him. Yeah. The joys of live internet.
Yeah, Adam, shut your camera off and just go audio only. That should at least make it so we can hear you on time and you can watch us. But yeah, no, this was a huge clip. As soon as you said it, Stamper, I knew. I was like, okay, this is definitely the one he's talking about. Sometimes I have that issue where I'm looking through it and I don't see it until you explain to me why it is that you found it. But this was one that was pretty easy for me to understand.
Yeah, I just love the play. And I think, it was a solid shift leading up to that as well, up to that box out play. But it just, what he did once that ball got loose, I thought it was great. Adam, can we hear you now? Let's see if we got him.
No, he's still not in the meet. You'll see his face pop back up in the meet when he's back in.
Okay. Well, let's just go on to the Will Malcolm goal. Unless you had something you want to add.
No, this Malcolm goal was huge because I didn't even pick it up the first time. I had to watch the replay before it was slow enough for me to actually understand how he beat Dougie there.
Yeah, look at the quickness of Will Malcolm now. A little breakdown communication-wise for the Albany defense, and you just can't let Will Malcolm get that kind of momentum and not get in his way. I think that's Volkov that was a little late coming over, and I know you don't want to leave somebody else. I think it's Thomas Vela there with him unattended, but you've got to go take Will Malcolm away. But then watch on the replay what Will Malcolm does and the awareness, because Doug Jamieson is on his post. As Malcolm goes across, it's so hard for goalies to stay with a player who's going, hey, Adam's back. It's so hard for a goalie to stay with a player who's going across the crease. It takes all kinds, because you have to get over there because he'll just reach and dunk it far side. But they love coming back near side. But Malcolm doesn't even get up in the air. He doesn't even jump because he sees Doug Jamieson, just his knee coming off the post. Jameson's still got his arm and his foot on the post. The knee is starting to go as he's starting to drive across with, and I'm acting out, of course, drive across with Malcolm. So Malcolm just tiny little shot, boom, right past the knee. And a beautiful goal.
Yes, and
I don't know if you guys can or
no.
Just a quick note to.
You might have to turn the camera off, Adam. It's really not
working, is it?
Yeah. If you shut the camera off, though, that should fix it for you. We'll be able to hear you at least.
There we go. In theory.
Hey, is that better?
Yes.
There we go.
Now I just got to flip your names. But yes, now we can hear you. You guys go on with the show. I'll take care of the rest.
Okay.
Adam, go ahead. You want to point on the Malcolm goal?
Just going. Well, if I wanted to just go back to the Tutton goal for a second and talk about, I think it was I agree it was a fantastic effort to get back and get in front of the offensive player there. And it brings up an interesting point because you see this throughout the National Lacrosse League so often is there are some guys who do just attack the loose ball, and there's other guys who play the man and not the ball and allow the other their teammates to go and pick it up. And I think that understanding that moment, especially for Hutchcraft for his teammates, I think was a smart play.
Yeah, it's another reason why statistics are important. And it's not a fluke that Zach Currier gets 200 plus loose balls every year, but it's not the be all and end all statistics, because a play like that, Chad Tutton's not going for a loose ball that would count on his statistics. He's making the play that's best for the team, letting somebody else get the ball and his team get possession. So I like that point that you're not, you need to look beyond just the stat.
And that's also what Coach Hayden and bringing in veteran presences on that back end for the Nighthawks. They did realize that that was an issue last season, so it was good to see that they were those plays.
I want to go on to a moment in the Georgia-Calgary game that, Adam, you talked in your 3 up, 3 down this week about Vancouver and Calgary not having much success on the power play. And Calgary, went 0 for 4 in this game against Georgia that's going to pop up any moment. One of the reasons is Georgia played so well on the penalty kill, including a 3-on-5 that we're about to see. And if we can make it bigger, I'd like to just see the replay if we can. We're going to have McIntosh and Jordan McIntosh and Brian Cole will be down low to start, and Kaysen Tarbell is up at the top. Can I just make it bigger for me, or just so I can see it better? Anyone? So there's Kaysen Tarbell pressuring up at the top, and you can just see how well they're going to rotate. I think that's not a bad shot there for Jesse King, but a 5-on-3, you're going to give up some good shots, and they do such a good job, Georgia does, of getting in the lanes, of moving, of rotating, of, Tarbell will go and pressure, then they'll shift and they'll swing back the other way. They'll rotate that triangle. And Adam, what are you seeing on this one?
Yeah, well, first of all, in terms of context, I think it's incredibly important because only a couple minutes earlier, Calgary had a shorthanded goal to tie the game up at 4-4, I believe. And so the fact that, that Georgia was able to bounce back on that play and silence the Calgary power play, I think was pivotal. How am I sounding, Stamper? It seems like there's a little bit of a delay.
Moderate. You're kind of cutting in and out a little bit. You're mostly there, but it's not ideal. But the other thing here that I see is Georgia, they push the ball up the floor and they come back. I think they switch out one guy on the penalty kill. And there you go. You get Joey Capito out in the place of Brian Cole and get some fresh legs. But Tarbell and McIntosh are still out there. Pretty decent chance there for Cook, but Dobson comes through when he needs to, and they just do such an excellent job, and it's going to keep going. There's another 23 seconds left. You've had two of these guys out there killing this entire 5-on-3. The one play where Jordan McIntosh gets the ball in the corner and just flings it back over his head to send it the length of the floor and get them some time is just, I think, was just fantastic because he goes into the corner knowing that he's got no help because of the way they're set out. And then at the end here, they finish it by him grabbing onto a loose ball and flinging it up the floor and connecting with Lyle Thompson. And there goes the 5-on-3. And I'll tell you, when you kill a 3-on-5 as your penalty kill, you can get a lot of momentum for your team. And I think that did a lot for Georgia. Now, kudos to Calgary for coming back and winning that game in overtime. They did a great job. But Georgia, part of the reason they got to overtime is because they did so well on plays like that.
Yeah, 100%. And you do look at how that changed the game. I mean, Brendan Bomberay scores to make it 5-4 later in that quarter. And then they go on a bit of a run to go up 10-7 until late in the third. So it definitely did seem to make an impact. And, to piggyback off of what you were saying about Jordan McIntosh, I mean, that is why he is a leader of that crew, that he is willing to do everything we were talking about with Tutton, and then even being in the crease, sacrificing his body, being kind of that second goaltender in front of Brett Dobson, shows you the sacrifices he's willing to make, and that's why he's so beloved in Georgia.
Yeah. One thing that this made me think of as well is Brian Cole. He's been on Team Canada for the last 2 World Box Championships, and he's not maybe as well known as a lot of the players on that team. And when we talk about transition player of the year contenders, he doesn't tend to come up with discussion is he a transition player? He plays a lot of forward. Is he, so we tend to just kind of try to figure whether he fits and not maybe include him. But boy, he deserves to be in that conversation because he's playing defense so well and he does some amazing things on offense. He really is there's that almost new breed of transition players that are playing a lot more. I mean, Ian McKay being another great example of a guy who's just doing it at both ends of the floor and will go defense to offense transition that we usually think of, but also offense to defense to take away transition opportunities for the opponent.
Great point. And then throw Zach Courier in there as well, playing some shifts up front. It really does seem to be a trend that's happening. And then, even
not anymore though. We're going to talk about that one a bit later.
Transition guys, those two-way players look at an Owen.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry, I thought you
But
were
then
talking-
look at a guy like Owen Grant, who's having a tremendous.
Yeah, sorry, we're just having some real trouble with Adam's internet here. Just can't hear him again. But hopefully we can get it rolling, because we are going to wrap up this section and go on to our predictions for the coming week. We will be back. We'll take a quick break for about a minute and a half, see if we can get things all sorted out and flying tickety-boo. Thanks for being with us on ITWOBL Week 9 here on Blue Squatch Productions and Inside Lacrosse.
Thank you so much for watching. Unfortunately, Adam Levy's internet was not quite cooperating, so the rest of this week will just be continued by Steven Stamp and myself. Thanks everybody so much for watching.